Welcome. My name is Paul Damaris. In May, just 2 short months from now, I will receive my Master's of Educational Technology degree from Boise State University. I remember as I prepared to enroll at Boise State, thinking it was going to take so long to get my degree. Now, it seems the time has disappeared like free food at a journalism convention. In 2008, I had been a professional photojournalist for over 20 years. What I was looking to do was transition gradually from being an artist and news photographer to being an art professor. When I began the process of going back to school, I envisioned myself getting an MFA. Before I began looking at programs, I made a list of the things that I wanted to learn. Multimedia technologies and how to apply them. How to be a good teacher. In everyone's education, there are teachers that you recognize and remember as exceptional. If I was going to teach, I wanted to be one of those teachers. I wanted to learn HTML and Flash. I wanted to know how to create web-based presentations. I wanted to learn new ways of using still images in an increasingly multimedia world. The kind of multidisciplinary knowledge I was looking for was beyond the scope of every MFA program I looked at. I wanted to learn the theory and practice of using images and teaching in the 21st century. The intellectual epiphany I enjoyed while studying at Boise State University inspired me to pursue a career in educational technology. With the economy in shambles and the newspaper industry in turmoil, I accepted a severance package from the Advocate and plunged headlong in a new personal and professional direction. I have learned so much in so short a time.
As a journalist and photographer, I had no exposure to the vocabulary of teaching as an academic discipline. EdTech 501 with Dr. Wizard, Dr. Pollard when I studied with her, introduced a whole new vocabulary. I had, before February of 2008, never spoken the word pedagogy aloud. Since that time, I have spoken it and written it thousands of times. I even know what it means. This vocabulary and the concepts of the digital divide, the history of technology in education, and the concept of technology as a planned, integrated part of a well-conceived education are things I learned in EdTech 501. I learned how to prepare a technology use plan, and as a side benefit, had a sudden, unexpected introduction to PowerPoint. The Internet for Educators is a class I constantly hark back to. The class is the perfect blend of theory and practice, of practicum and study. I designed and built my first hand-coded HTML pages in this class for the Virtual Field Trip project. In instructional design, EdTech 503 with Dr. Hung, I had a revelatory experience. The idea of designing instruction according to a system or as a repeatable sequence of actions was an entirely foreign one to me. The skills I learned in 502, combined with the knowledge gleaned during the design of my final project in this instructional design class, planted a seed that would grow into a major roadblock as far as my original intentions of becoming a photography professor were concerned. Behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructionism. Oh my! There's constructivism and situated cognition, anchored learning and connectivism. Trying to decide between being a pragmatic objectivist and an objective pragmatist isn't all that easy. It's not even all that easy to say. EdTech 504, the theoretical foundation of educational technologies, teaches those differences and why they're important. The theoretical foundations of educational technologies is a class I found to be more valuable than I expected. Sometimes knowing how to talk the talk can be just as important as knowing how to walk the walk. Today, I can converse fluently in eduspeak. I even know Jean Piaget is a man. Evaluation in educational technology was the class I found most challenging. Everything I saw in this class was entirely new and included a number of things, like statistical analysis, I had avoided like the plague during my undergraduate years. Visual literacy is an interesting term. As a photographer, I have employed a number of the principles taught in instructional message design without actually knowing I was doing it. One of the main reasons I selected this program was to learn multimedia creation, application, and theory. Flash is the primary authoring tool for web-based multimedia objects, so I really wanted Flash in my multimedia toolbox. I learned a lot in EdTech 511, including a dozen new reasons to curse at the computer. I hope to do more with Flash in the future. My favorite projects from this class are the 6-page website with multiple easing behaviors and the final design and implementation teaching site. My subject was digital cameras, and this project is being used in class at Kean University this semester. From Flash to Moodle, from Audacity to Jing, from Web 2.0 to Web 0.0. Designing the Teacher's Multimedia Toolbox, my final project in EdTech 512, is where I took so much of what I've learned over the course of the EdTech program and put it to good use. Multimedia is one of the classes I looked forward to taking from the outset of the program. Every time I see a PowerPoint presentation where the presenter reads off their bullet points verbatim, I wince and think of this class. I think of the redundancy principle. Before EdTech 513, I thought presentations like this were just painfully boring and ineffective. I had no idea they violated the law of multimedia education. I often wish violations came with prison sentences. We might all be better off.
We've come full circle. This portfolio site is an electronic mile marker on my journey as a lifetime learner. Sitting here only months from graduation, I think of how far I've come since 2007 and that first conversation with Jerry Foster. I also think about how much I've learned and how much more there is to learn and where that new knowledge will take me. As I ride off into the computer-generated sunset, I'd like to thank the Educational Technology faculty at Boise State University. Without your generosity and support, I could not have been successful in this program. Thank you. We'll see you on the internet.